This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I'm okay, I think.
It sounds like we don't have a lot to talk about. We're just like, well.
You see, the thing is, Tom, I was humiliated this week.
Oh, more than usual?
Yeah. Can I tell you a tale of the trials
humiliation? Sure.
and tribulations of Tim?
I got all the time in the world for a tale about you being humiliated.
Yeah.
Were you pants somewhere?
No, it was worse than this because it was...
Worse than pantsing. Melvin?
Melvin is what? A reverse wedgie?
Yeah, front wedgie.
So it hurts your...
genitals.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. There's nowhere for the underwear to go. And around back, it goes, in between your butt cheeks.
Yeah.
But around
There's somewhere
front,
to go.
Yeah, there's no give.
Yeah, that stinks.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted gave a Melvin to Death,
Yeah.
the Grim Reaper.
Death himself, who I would have assumed didn't even wear underwear.
Yeah, well, they also used a slur against...
Yeah.
But it was a different time.
Yeah.
If they remake those, or if they...
The writers have since said like that's like
They
one
used
of their
the
biggest
F word, the bad F word.
Yeah.
Between you and me, Tom, we don't want this new Bill and Ted movie to happen, right?
No, I want it to happen.
Look, sure, we all want to be 10 years old again and watch Bill and Ted. But guess what? We're not 10 years old.
I'll tell you what, I'm 10 years old every time I watch Bill and Ted. Those two movies, bogus.
You just want to go back to a time when you can use that bad F word as a slur.
No, Bogus Journey is, I'm going to say it's the best sequel of any movie ever.
Sure. Yeah.
So
okay.
I have like more faith than...
And then you wait 30 years and you do another one.
I'm just saying it's not necessarily in the bag that it's going to be good, but if anybody can make it good, it's the screenwriters and those actors.
I guarantee you would much rather see John Wick 6 or whatever.
John Wick 3. He
Really?
rides a
Is that-
horse in this one.
Oh, yeah. No, but like... All right, John Wick 4 then. Like another John Wick rather than another Bill and
Look,
Ted.
it doesn't have to be either.
They let these franchises sit for like decades and then they're like, well, everybody will love it again. And then nobody likes it, but everybody gets all like their hopes up and then they get angry when it's bad. Remember when it started with the Indiana Jones and the
the Crystal
people
Skull.
lost their minds because there were aliens, even though like angels were in the other ones, and like
were angels in
or
it?
like God came down and like
What movie are you talking about?
Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
God comes down?
At the end, they show like they put the thing into the thing.
Not Raiders. Last Crusade.
No, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I recently saw it, Tom.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Anyway.
If you're telling me God's in it, sure.
Yeah, they know that like God's a thing for real.
Yeah.
Like that, like the wrath of God kills all the Nazis or
so
something.
it's kind of like the prequel to God's Not Dead.
Right. I mean, it's God's Not Dead was a remake of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
A reboot.
Right.
With a
very
more
boring-
charismatic lead.
Kevin Sorbo? Was he the lead in God's Not Dead? No.
I thought it was Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron?
But I'm thinking of Left Behind.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track of all these Christian movies.
So I was
today's biggest stars.
I was in a meeting, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And you ever think of your life? Do you ever think that at one point you'd be in a meeting, and it's you and a bunch of grown-ups that you never met, and you're all sitting in like a conference room talking about like business and stuff?
No, like as a kid, you mean, or like a year ago? Did I ever think that?
Either or. Does that ever seem like a realistic possibility that this would happen to you? Like, well, I just met all these men and women for the first time. Mm-hmm. We're going to sit down. We're all dressed very
get to
nicely.
Business.
Yeah, and we're going to sit, and like we're all going to be a little bored, but like that's life.
Yeah, I guess like as a kid, I never really thought about that. I haven't been in like too many boring meetings with like outside people.
Yeah. So this is what made it so worse, Tom. Mm-hmm. I met all these people. I was like, you're really keeping it together, Tim. These guys think you're a grown-up just like them.
You were saying this out loud?
I don't think my lips might have been moving. So if
Right.
there was a lip reader in the
Yeah.
crowd, I'm screwed already at
Like,
this point.
based on experience, Tim, usually when you say, I think just my lips were moving, you're usually saying it very softly still.
Keeping it together, Tim. You're doing a great job. These men respect you.
They think you're a businessman just like them.
Yes. Keep it up, buddy. So I brought my laptop computer with me.
So how businesslike? Did you bring it in a briefcase?
No, I brought it in a backpack, and this was my fatal flaw because I keep a lot of things in my backpack.
Oh, no.
So I meet everybody. I'm shaking hands. I'm talking in a very measured, professional voice. And then everybody sits down. They're taking out their notebooks. They're taking out their computers. I reach in and I take out my computer. But also in the same pouch as my computer was a Mad magazine. And I took out my computer and put it on the thing, and the Mad magazine just falls onto the floor. And I don't know. It's like these Mad magazine issues are not that like hefty.
No.
But I swear to God, it was just like bam,
Landed like a phone book.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. But everybody's eyes immediately were drawn to the Mad magazine, and everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, it's Mad magazine." And I like literally was just
My son likes that.
which would have been like I bought that for my son. They don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. A man, look.
Well, it was probably all dog-eared.
But yeah, and I literally like I had nothing to say, so I just went like, I don't know why that's there. Which isn't a
No, I mean, yeah.
how did that get in
Now
there?
you're immature and a liar.
Yeah.
What you should have said was "What me worry."
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid they saw me as a regular Alfred E. Newman from that point on out.
Yeah.
No, I think you know what. These days, even businessmen are cool.
These days, even businessmen read Mad magazine.
Or they're hip to like, hey,
Yeah.
look, they might not be in they might not like be a loyal follower of the usual gang of idiots like the rest of us. But like, look, these guys, they've done cocaine probably. I've never done cocaine, right? So if they're like, I could just be like, hey, guess what? If you're gonna
Well, guess what? I've never done cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. So you're
That would-
criminals. I'm just a little. I'm a little immature, but you're criminals.
I'm just a little boy. You're adult criminals.
No, so it ended with me threatening to call the police and turn them in for doing cocaine
for cocaine use at
Yeah.
some undetermined
until they
previous
stopped
time.
laughing at me.
Well, so you know what you gotta do now.
What's that?
Next meeting with these people, you gotta put a hustler in your backpack.
Yeah, that way they'll know I'm cool.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a grown up.
Oh,
This is
he's
what
a
grown-ups
grown-up.
are.
Oh, he likes
no,
printed pornography.
No. Penthouse, the letters.
Penthouse Forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dear Penthouse Forum.
Is that? Do they sell? I only know that from Seinfeld. Like I know it's a thing. Do
Yeah.
they sell that at newsstands? Or did
I mean,
they
they
sell it?
used to, yeah.
It's just like letter. It's perverted letters from people.
There's some pornography in there as well. Some titillating photographs.
Is it like the size of a TV guide?
Yeah, it's like
That's
a TV.
like a Reader's Digest.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And I think because like all those magazines, all those nudie magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess maybe not all of them. I can't speak from too much experience. Like I think like the really filthy ones, they probably are just wall-to-wall pornography. But I know like as a kid, anytime like you got your hands on like a Playboy.
In the woods.
Yeah.
A waterlogged Playboy.
A waterlogged Playboy. You're always like, hot dog, here we go. 60 pages of nude women.
First, let me flip through this Henry Kissinger interview.
Yeah, exactly. Like there were very few photographs.
Yeah.
So I think Penthouse Forum was kind of the same. Like I think there's like some photos. I think it literally is printed like TV Guide where there's like the glossy photos and then
the
like
features up front and
and then like newspaper type stock for the question and answer.
Well, that's
I
interesting.
don't even know if there were. I don't know if it's question and answer.
I don't think of it.
I think it's just like here's something that happened. Like
here's a wacky perverted
yeah.
situation.
Here's
I
a
found.
wild tale of how I had the threesome. I don't think they're necessarily looking for advice. They just want to share it with the other miscreants.
Yeah, it looks like these are guys that should be giving the advice.
Yeah.
If
Well, in a lot of ways they were.
If they've experienced these escapades.
You could read their escapades and then model your own life after the way they live their lives, hoping to get the same outcome, the same
That's
results.
better than any self-help book, right?
Yeah. Well,
Here's how to do depraved acts.
They've often said that Penthouse Forum's the best self-help book that there is, and it comes out every month.
Wow.
It might be bi-monthly. I'm not sure. You know what? I should really have done my research before I walked into this interview today.
I would like to remind you, you are under oath. Tom.
Yeah.
This week we're talking about. Hey, guess what we're doing this week?
What?
We're streaming.
Oh, okay.
Like all the kids.
Yeah.
Netflix and chill, right?
Uh-huh. Now, what does that mean?
That's something that you'd read about in the Penthouse Forum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Dear Penthouse Forum.
I feel like that was never really a thing. That was a thing that adults latched onto. It's like, that's what teens are calling hooking up now.
It's
like,
teens
guys, I imagine whatever teens are doing right now, none of us want to know about.
Yeah. Teens have moved on from crunking to Netflixing and chilling.
There was a brief stopover in twerking.
Twerking, yeah.
Yeah.
You can still twerk while you chill, is my understanding.
Chill is making out?
I think it's anything.
Any of the bases.
Any of the bases. It's up to your imagination.
But you put on Netflix.
Anywhere from making out to Penthouse Forum.
Oh, wow. But the stipulation is a movie or television program has to be streaming in the background.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just the old standby of I guess not all generations had this, but like for our generation, it would have just been like when we were in college or whatever. Like, hey, you want to like come over and watch Boondock Saints?
Yeah, every weekend, every dorm room on the floor. Had Boondock Saints in the DVD player and a sock on the door.
Yeah. I think it was just like, hey, you want to come over and like watch a movie or something? And it's like, yeah, we all know what's really going to happen, but you're not going to say like, hey, you want to come over and heavily pet each other?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, come over and watch a movie. And then you can be like, no, we're just watching a movie.
Hey, and listen, baby boomers, you're not exempt from this. Ever hear of the drive-in?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have portable video discs or whatever,
whatever they're
digital
called.
versatile discs to pop in and watch Boondock Saints. You had to watch Boondock Saints the old-fashioned way on a big screen from a film reel.
Yeah, while sitting in your car.
Yeah.
with a couple of speakers hanging off the sides.
Now, when I was a kid, and we went and saw Short Circuit 2 at the drive-in. Mm-hmm. We just
Were your parents making out the whole time?
I wrote a Penthouse Forum letter of my own that was just like, Dear Penthouse Forum, something terrible happened.
Me and my brother were sitting in the backseat, looking to enjoy Short Circuit 2.
The further adventures of Johnny Five.
Yeah.
It's all.
Oh, Johnny Five's alive.
But we didn't have the speakers. It was tune your car radio.
Yeah, I mean we did too. I think it was only like in the 50s.
Yeah.
They like didn't have the technology.
That stinks. What tinny sound they had to watch Rebel Without a Cause on or whatever.
You know what? Actually, it might have been the opposite. It might have been that the speakers were better than like your car's radio.
I can't imagine that. Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, like when it was like, oh, well, we could broadcast this via AM signal to your car. Mm-hmm. You can listen to this movie in mono.
But no, children, we're not Netflixing and chilling. We're Netflix and...
Pilling. We're taking pills.
Yeah. No, we're Netflix and thrill killing. That's when you put Netflix on as an alibi. And then when you're accused of murdering somebody for enjoyment, you can be like,
hey, check the Netflix logs.
Check the logs.
I was watching Boondock Saints at that time.
Yeah, I was watching Boondock Saints for the third time that weekend. There's lots of levels to it. That guy, what's that guy that I hate? With his face.
What? I don't know.
Man with the stupid face in Boondock Saints.
I don't know.
He's a famous actor.
I think all of them had stupid faces in that movie. I think that's one of the
I
reasons
think you're
why
being a little too tough on Boondocks.
why that movie hasn't.
Willem Dafoe
Willem Dafoe
with the face.
Yeah, with the
now you understand.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the guys in that movie, he's the one with the face.
I have all the guys in all movies. He's the one with the face.
Yeah. Get that. Yeah, what's with the puss? That's what I'd say to Willem Dafoe if I ever met him.
Yeah, and then he'd probably go like, ha! You're like, oh, God, please put the puss back on.
Please don't bite me. We're talking about Netflix, the company, Tom.
Yeah.
A company that I'll let the record show I've been bullish on since the very beginning.
Okay.
Do you remember when Netflix came out? It was like the movie pass of its day.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, how are these fuckers going to keep this up?
Right.
No way. Look, I'll sign up now,
Yeah.
and you'll just send me any DVD, and I can keep it as long as I want.
Mm.
DVDs, too. How
Yeah.
depressing, huh?
Well, from what I was reading, they said like basically that the two founders were like, hey, you see this new company, Amazon.com?
Reed Hastings?
Yeah. And a different guy.
Reed Hastings is a cool name,
Yep.
but it's like a cool name for a jerk.
Yeah.
Like he's a guy that you know is a jerk, but you're like, he's a jerk, but he's fun to hang out with.
Sorry, Tim. I'm going to the dance with Reed Hastings.
Exactly, and I'd be like,
That jerk?
that jerk. But then deep down, it's like, Veronica was right to do that.
Yeah. And then Reed would come up behind you and pants you.
Yeah, and be like, "What's up, Reed? Oh, good to see you. Good one, Reed.
Tim, in all of your high school...
What is that? A Mad magazine in your locker? No, Reed. It's a penthouse.
In all of your fantasies, Tim, do you just go to high school at Riverdale High?
Yeah.
You just called the previously unnamed anonymous girl that you were asking to prom Veronica.
Yeah.
All right.
She's the
Just
coolest girl at school.
Let the record show.
She's rich. Her dad's a criminal.
Yeah.
She sings sometimes with Josie and the Pussycats.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, she's the whole package.
Yeah.
You're a fool for not thinking Veronica's.
I'd ask Betty, but that's just me.
Betty's got a dark side.
I get my ass kicked by Jughead nowadays.
Jughead's a pacifist. He'd mostly just he'd
Glare at me.
Yeah, exactly. He'd brood until you went, fine, stop brooding.
Fine.
This isn't fun. It isn't fun for me if you're gonna be always in my peripheral vision brooding while I'm taking your ex-girlfriend on a date.
Fine. You date Betty. I'll go eat hamburgers at the diner, I guess.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, so basically
maybe that's what Jughead needs to finally get him eating hamburgers on that show.
Oh, getting depressed about Betty?
Yeah. Get Betty out of the picture. Eat a hamburger.
Yeah,
Christ
make you
sakes,
feel
your skin
better.
and bones.
So basically, these guys they saw how good Amazon was doing, and they were like, we should like have an online thing where we sell something via mail. And originally they were gonna like sell DVDs too, and I didn't realize this. They didn't launch with the like unlimited DVD thing. It was like $2.99 a rental.
Oh, okay. But the thing was, no late fees. Everybody hated Blockbuster.
You know
because of
what?
their dang late fees.
I'm not sure. There's a lot of evidence that basically like they kind of changed their stories a few times
Because here's
about
the
all
story
that.
I heard.
Yeah.
Reed Hastings, that scoundrel who stole my prom date.
Yeah.
He had made $750 million from selling his Pure Software, which is a company. I took notes this week, Tom. But he started Netflix because he got a $40 late fee at Blockbuster, and he was like, "What the?" But this guy had friggin' $750 million in the bank.
Yeah. Buy a movie if you want to watch
Yeah,
it.
Jesus. Oh, I have to give it. Oh, just because they want to rent it to somebody else. But are you saying Reed Hastings is a liar and a scoundrel and a bully?
I'm saying that a lot of he claimed he got a $40 late fee on Apollo 13.
It wasn't Apollo. It was Jade. Remember that movie Jade?
Yeah, he was like, boy, I gotta see.
It was Barbed Wire with Pamela Anderson.
I gotta see why this guy left NYPD Blue. We run Jade. No, it sounds like that this was like a convenient, like clever story for them to tell in interviews later.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, no, this wouldn't exist if I hadn't gotten so dang mad at Blockbuster.
I mean, I won't sit here and have you impugn Reed Hastings' truthfulness here.
I'm just saying it's a convenient story. Like, that might have happened, but that was not the impetus of the company. Impetus, it sounds like, was, hey, Amazon's selling things online. We should sell things online. They originally were going to start, they were right place, right time, too, because they were originally going to send VHSs.
You dummies.
Yeah.
They're so heavy.
Exactly. That's what
They'd crack in the mail. Actually, DVDs would crack in the mail. How did they get them not to crack in the mail?
They mailed one to themselves, and they were like, it seems fine.
No, that was to copyright the idea. They wrote the idea in an envelope, sealed it, and mailed it to themselves.
And put a DVD in there, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, DVDs are pretty
They're
durable.
plastic. They're versatile.
They are versatile.
Digital versatile discs, Tom.
Yes. Yeah, they're I think these were basically, because do you remember, like, as a kid, I remember, like, the first CDs I got, it was like,
They were
these
thick.
are Fabergé eggs, though.
Oh, no, they were thick.
No, really?
I don't know. I thought you were going somewhere else, but then I was trying to prematurely support your premise.
They were thick as a pizza.
Yeah, you're right. They were indestructible.
Oh.
I think this was the thing. I think my dad bought Sgt. Pepper for the 40th time.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, this is the last time I'm going to buy this goddamn album.
Yeah.
Tim,
Like you said that when you bought the 8-track.
Yeah. Tim, I know these things scratch and then become unusable. These things are as fragile as a Fabergé egg.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. I think it was like, I spent $25 on this thing, and I don't really understand what it is. And it kind of got drilled into our heads that they were a little bit more fragile.
Yeah, because like when I was a kid, like the first DVD or first CDs I had before DVDs, yeah, I mean, I like all but put gloves on to handle these things. And then like, it's funny because then like later, like in college, I remember like just having like stacks of burned CDs and like just kind of being like, yeah, whatever.
You'd light your cigars with a
CD. A lit CD.
Mm-hmm. You'd light a CD on fire first.
I can only remember like a handful of times where like a CD or DVD got so scratched that it wouldn't play.
Yeah, I mean, they'd skip.
No, even skipping. Like,
you
needed
tell
like...
me. Stop telling me that my CDs didn't skip.
Well, I had a nice CD player, Tim, a strong laser.
How dare you? You know my CD player was just as strong, and the laser was just as laser pointed as yours. No, the laser you want to be thin.
Fine.
You want a
just
thick
as
laser.
Fine. But I think that the Reed Hastings and another guy were the first people to be like, I think it's fine if you kind of scratch DVDs. They'll be fine.
That's true.
And then eventually I think they figured out like how many times a DVD could be sent through the mail before it became like unreadable.
Right.
And they just factored that into replacement costs or whatever. And they probably only had to replace Boondock Saint DVDs. Everything else probably didn't get rented enough.
Maybe Jade.
Maybe Jade.
But most people would just
because Jade,
order Jade and just keep it.
Yeah, well,
and
no.
Be like, I'll pay $9.99 a month to just rent this Jade DVD.
Well, once Jade came to HBO, though, that probably was a big hit to them.
But guess what? This was before HBO Go and HBO Now.
Yeah, to be like, well, I guess Saturday 8 o'clock, I'll watch the HBO premiere movie Jade.
Yeah, but then you got to be like, you guys all have to leave on Saturday.
You guys can't be around. Why are you watching the movie in the bedroom, Tim? Watch it in the living room. Watch it on the big screen.
I want to hear all the dialogue. You're always talking over it and chewing popcorn. I don't like it. It's pretty cool when they sent DVDs through the mail, right?
Yeah.
That was a terrible job for people, huh?
Oh, like stuffing DVDs
Yeah.
in those weird
Yeah.
factories?
I never once got the wrong DVD from them, and I was a power user.
Yeah.
I was on I think the 5 at a time.
Wow.
No, I was on the 3 at a time.
Yeah. Now your story's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
like
remember
Reed Hastings.
I remember stories about them, like the distribution centers had to be like secret, like they wouldn't say where any of their
DVDs were freaking plastic gold at the time.
Yeah, because it was like, well, if somebody knew, they might break in and steal millions of dollars worth of movies that they could easily sell.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now you can't give DVDs away.
I gave them away to Goodwill. They didn't want to take them, but I did.
Yeah.
I did. I made them take
They
it.
said, only because we have a Goodwill.
Do you have a DVD player, Tom?
No. I don't think, like, my PS4 plays Blu-rays. I don't think it can play DVDs. Or it can't play CDs. One of the two.
Was that like the shortest lifespan of a format?
No.
Because when did when did Blu-ray come out? Like 2007.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because PlayStation 3 was Blu-ray.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, no, because that was like the PlayStation 2 used DVDs, and that was like in hindsight apparently like a gigantic factor in the PlayStation 2 success, because the PlayStation 2 was like $50 less than a DVD player. So many people were like, oh, well, I'll just get this, and then I'll be able to play games too.
Tom, can I tell you something? I was an early adopter of the DVD player.
Of the digital, you said these discs sure are versatile.
Yeah, and I was like, Mom, Dad, buy me this for Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember you. Was that high school or college?
It was high school, baby.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
High school kid with a DVD player.
Yeah.
Like a regular Richie Rich.
Yeah, I was.
Come to
I
life.
more like the boy from Silver Spoons, because I also made them buy me that train.
That you could ride on.
Yeah, the boy-sized train.
In fairness, at the time you were a man, but you still.
I wasn't a man. I was like 17.
It's almost a man.
Yeah. That's what you'd like the judge to believe.
What's that supposed to mean, Tim?
I don't know. Yeah, terrible job. Tom, here's the other thing.
Yeah.
I think I thought it was cool that they were sending DVDs. And I didn't have much money, so I was like, cool. I don't want to pay these late fees. Although, how hard is it to just drop off your dang things when you're done with them?
It's not hard. It's just you got to remember.
Yeah, but
And I know where I ran into problems, like in high school, renting like movies and games, was that I was so bored all the time that I would like go to Blockbuster pretty much every day. Especially like once I had a car and I could use my parents' car and I could drive to Blockbuster. Like I would go every day. So then sometimes I would have like 3 or 4 things that I'd be like, ooh, which one did I take out first? Like, what's
get
due
your
back?
life together, man. Get a color-coded system. I don't know.
But you could say that about all of this stuff.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
I'm just saying that's how I would often get late fees. Color-coded system. I was going to... I thought, I remember, yeah.
Maybe you should have had some friends instead of just renting movies and games all the time.
I was your friend.
I know.
I was renting him to play him on your DVD player. No, but
You're welcome.
I would always think like, I'll remember the order I rented these in and which day certain things are due back.
Write it down, man.
And then also like when Blockbuster went to like, oh, some of these things are a 2-day rental and some are 5.
Yeah, the
Then it
new
was like-
releases were 2-day rentals.
Yeah, but then it was like, well, now
they
if
had to replenish the stock, Tom.
now if I rent a new movie and an old movie, I'm gonna have to go back to Blockbuster twice.
You said you were going every day,
Yeah.
sir.
Not
Just figure it out, man.
Well, it took a while before I realized that I could return a movie and rent a new movie in the same trip. I thought.
Oh,
That was
no,
like-
Tom.
no, yeah.
They didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
In
can
fact,
park
they
once.
encouraged it.
Yeah, park once, drop it off on the way in.
Yeah.
You won't even.
I still remember video rentals when it was like a breakthrough technology, the idea to put the return slot outside the store.
Wow.
So you didn't have to, like, it didn't matter if the store was open or
Is
not.
that why Golden Video went out of business?
I think so.
Because they didn't have that
no,
technology?
I think eventually they, like, jerry-rigged a slot somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was like you put it through the slot and then you just, like, watch it, like, bounce into the store.
Yeah. This was our local village.
Pre-Blockbuster.
It's sad that Blockbuster ran Golden Video out of business, which, let's face it, that's what happened.
Right. Well,
Let's
all
not
these years
sugarcoat
later,
it.
we can say it.
But I liked Blockbuster Video. I liked it better. Look, Tom, here's what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I liked making it a Blockbuster night.
Yeah.
I liked going down to the Blockbuster alone sometimes with friends, sometimes with a significant other. Blockbuster
your wife
and
at
chill.
the time.
My wife at the time, my first
Teenage
or
bride.
second wife. And like being like, all right, we're going to commit to this. And this is the only thing. We're going to rent this, maybe two things, but like, this is it.
Right.
Like, freaking.
We're not going to go home and be like, all right, well, let's see what's on TV and
Yeah.
then watch this if we can't find anything else.
The thing is, our brains have been so, and this isn't for the Netflix when they were mailing DVDs, but the streaming thing.
Yeah.
If I'm
Paradox
not,
of
if I'm
choice.
not into, not even that, if I'm not into a movie in the first 7 minutes, I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've made a mistake. Oh, and I've literally like hundreds of thousands of other things I can watch right now.
Yeah.
Let me roll the dice again. Like, I don't know. Sometimes things take 8 minutes to get going.
Yeah.
Sometimes they take 15 minutes to get going. They're making our brains all prissy. I don't like it. My brain's like, I don't like this. Turn it off. Find
Show
a new
me
thing.
something else.
Find a thing that this brain likes better, please.
I didn't realize, but during my research that Netflix still runs their DVD rental.
Yeah, Quickster.
No. We'll talk about Quickster in a minute, but Netflix owns DVD.com, and that's what it's through now.
DVD.com, my favorite destination. That's a Netflix. Ooh, those tricky bastards.
Yeah.
I go to DVD.com all the time. As you know, I was an early adopter. And
yeah,
and a straggler as well.
DVD.com was like the new DVD releases, right? That's what they would show back in the day.
I'm sorry. I'm headed to DVD.com right now. Oh, it's dvd.netflix.com.
Yeah.
Movies delivered.
It's old redirect.
Huh.
Yeah, so at one point they tried to make a thing called Quickster, which was going to be, because
What was that, 2010 probably?
2011, I think.
People were livid.
Yeah, so basically this was Netflix. It always used to be you got a DVD plan, and then on top of that, you got the streaming.
Now, streaming started, what are we going to say, 2006, 2007?
2007,
And they
according to
had-
my documents.
I was trying to look it up today because recently they came out with a list of all the original streaming titles they had when they first launched.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like, I remember the David Wayne movie, The 10, was on there, and I was like, "Oh, sweet!
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of
Yeah,
great
it was all
stuff."
like independent releases.
And then like nothing else, and like
Mm-hmm.
nothing ever changed for like 6 months, and
yeah, there were not new things on there.
and you could kind of watch it on your computer, but like it was still in the time where it was like, you really need to tell me you're gonna stream movies? Like I can barely get this QuickTime movie to
Right.
like not buffer every 5 seconds. Look, I'm still
you're gonna
stuck
have to-
using the real player.
You're
That's
gonna
my
have
player
to
of choice.
Install Microsoft Silverlight to get
Oh,
this
yeah.
working.
But then I remember we were roommates at the time, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like, "There's a Netflix box for our TV."
Yeah,
And it was
for RTV and RTV only.
Well, I think you were like, everybody, I've bought this Netflix Roku. And that was the first iteration of the Roku, right? It was
Yeah.
like Netflix branded.
Yeah, I think it had originally Netflix was going to make their own box and call it the Netflix. So two things. First, they were going to make a Netflix box that like you would decide at night what movie you wanted to see, and it would Boondock Saints, and it would download it
Yeah.
overnight and keep it on the
Overnight?
box. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because
I'd rather just drive to Blockbuster.
Because it took so long. So it was like, yeah, overnight, and then
then you still have to commit to a movie.
Yeah. And then the next day we'll be ready for
If your
you.
girlfriend's like, I don't like this movie. It's like, I spent 9.5 hours downloading this.
We're watching the Boondock Saints.
Yeah, again.
But then once YouTube took off, they were like, oh, you can stream movies instead of download them. So that's when they started their streaming thing. But they were originally going to make a Netflix box, a streaming box themselves. And then very wisely, they were like, like if we do this, like nobody else is going to like make a Netflix box because they're going to have to compete with us. And nobody's going to want to do that because we could screw them over at any point. Mm-hmm. So they were the biggest investors.
Ever heard of vertical integration?
They were the biggest investors in Roku, and Roku started like it wasn't like a subsidiary, but they were mostly owned by Netflix. I don't know what the deal is nowadays.
Business stuff. You wouldn't understand. Me and the other guys in the conference room, this is the kind of stuff we talk about in between talking about the Mad Magazine stuff.
So they were going to do it that way, or they did do it that way. And that's how, because I don't know if you remember, but like, yeah, the Roku box was like the only way to watch Netflix on a TV for like maybe like 6 months. And then out of nowhere, it was like, oh, you can watch it on anything now.
I remember you were like, roommate meeting. And we were all like poor because there were like 4 of us living in one apartment.
Yeah.
You're like, I've bought this Netflix box so we can watch these 12 streaming independent movies. It costs $450, so everybody just leave $120 on the counter.
That first Netflix box is like $80. It was like surprisingly affordable. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that box ever got updated to be able to play anything else. I think it could only do Netflix.
Right, and then everybody was like, "Well, will we be able to watch Boondock Saints?" And you were like, "Well, not yet."
Yeah, but God willing, one day it'll be available.
What about Jade? Can I borrow that box and put it in my room and watch Jade?
No, you can't. Look, if you unplug it, it's not going to work anymore.
Oh.
It has to be plugged into this hardwired connection in our home.
Every week I'm paying $40 in late fees for Jade. I was hoping this would solve my problem.
So yeah, that's how the streaming started.
Okay, so they had streaming going, and then streaming ramped up. But in 2011, it wasn't like it was neck and neck, right? The DVDs. Because look, there are these goddamn suburbanites that are just like, Redbox. I could get all the new movies at Redbox. Oh, I signed up for Netflix streaming. Why can't I get this new movie? It's like, don't you understand how things work, you dumb suburbanite?
No, that's not how it happened. By 2010, Netflix streaming business had grown so quickly that within months, the company shifted from the fastest customer of the United States Postal Service to the largest source of internet streaming traffic.
That's exactly what I just said.
In North America in the evening.
Okay.
No, it was 2010, so it was a year earlier. And like the switch happened like quickly, within months.
Like a switch.
Like a switch. The switch happened like a switch.
Yeah.
No, it was like all of a sudden everybody realized, oh, I can watch movies. I can watch these streaming movies. And I think 2010 is probably also around that time.
You could watch WALL-E. I remember.
Yeah.
I watched that.
2010 is probably also around the time that like it started getting integrated into some TVs. But the biggest thing was like 2010 was around when the video game system started supporting the streaming. So then it was like, oh, all these people have systems already. An interesting fact here. In 2011, like 42% of streams happened on a computer.
All right, that wasn't interesting.
Excuse me. 25% of views happened on Nintendo Wii.
I thought Wii wasn't...
Wii was late to the game.
You had to put in a disc into the Wii to make Netflix work.
Early on. Because we had a Wii when we were living together, and I was
a very... Whoa, step back. That was a very confusing sentence. We had a Wii?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? You and I and the Nintendo Entertainment
Because I don't
System.
know if you remember that I also called a house meeting when I got that streaming disc.
Yeah.
Said Netflix has just sent us a disc that they never want back.
And then we were all
That
like,
we
what
can
about
keep
that
for
very
good."
expensive box that we couldn't even watch the Boondock Saints on?
Fuck that box. It's all about putting this disc in, waiting for that to load, and then watching it on the Wii here. I do remember thinking it was weird when you had to like go and request that disc, and then you were like put in a queue, and it would like take a while.
I found
depending
that
on...
disc in my home recently. I don't know how it wound up in my home.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's like a killer's calling card or something.
What do you mean?
What?
No, it's the one that we had like at the time. It was like in a box somewhere.
Even Tim, I burned that disc years ago. I do remember thinking.
What's the implication about that disc? That I killed somebody or that somebody's after me?
So, hey, look, whatever you say, man. I remember thinking it was weird that disc came in like a regular Netflix container or envelope.
You
But
think they were gonna make new envelopes?
nah,
for
but it was
your
just weird that it's like,
niche
I'm never gonna
Nintendo Wii?
have to send this back.
Wow, Tom.
What a world.
What a world.
Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
still definitely have a few Netflix DVDs that I reported as missing and then like found later.
what? Oh, they make you pay like $20 for them or something, right?
No, usually they were like, no problem.
Oh, missing in the mail.
Yeah, I'd say, no, I mailed it. I gave them to the mailman. I
Yeah.
told him it was important to give them back to you. He didn't bring them back? Ooh, boy.
My mailman. I've had problems with him, Reed. Reed, you got to believe me. I'm trying to do the right thing
Look,
here.
I'm trying to get these DVDs back to you. I know a lot of people want to watch the Boondock Saints. I want them to watch
My
the
mailman,
Boondock
Stuart,
Saints.
real the friggin' can of worms with this guy.
Another interesting fact that I read, it was in 2013, because I used to work for a video website, and we ran into this problem.
A pornography site?
No, not a pornography site, but a pornography-related problem, where we were unable, and so is Netflix, we like later found out once we ran into problems, to automatically share what people were watching on Facebook.
That stinks.
And
nobody
like,
wants to do that.
No,
stuff.
nobody, of course. Well, this was like a little bit of a different time. But like Netflix wanted you to be able to be like, hey, I'm watching the Boondock Saints, like, and post it to all
And
your
it's
friends.
like all my friends are like, we know,
Yeah, no duh. So are we.
but I don't want them to know that I'm watching Jade.
Yeah, it's a real conundrum.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have to turn that feature on and
Yeah,
off.
exactly. I look if somebody's like, "Oh, Tim's watching Boondock Saints."
Cool.
Awesome. Next time I see him, it's a high five situation.
Yeah.
Jade.
It's like,
I wanna
oh,
touch his
I know
hand.
what he's
Yeah.
doing. Do you know why that was illegal?
The sharing of
Yeah.
no.
It was the Video Privacy Act of 1988. Because
Sonny Bono.
no, maybe it was him.
I have no idea.
Reagan had nominated a new
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan had nominated a new Supreme Court justice. He said to some guy, "Well, I want you to be on the Supreme Court for me." Old, what was it? The Gipper.
The Gipper.
For
You were
me,
gonna say old blue eyes, weren't you?
for me, old blue eyes, Ronald Reagan. And during this guy's Supreme Court proceedings, they brought out his video rental history.
Ah.
And you know what was on there? I always assume like, oh yeah, he was renting like adult movies.
What was he supposed to be? What was he appointed to?
Supreme Court?
Oh, okay. This wasn't. Wait.
He didn't. He got denied.
Someone got. Okay. What was in his history? Who was this? What's his name?
So another interesting thing, his name, I'm not sure his first name was, but his last name was Bork. And
he got borked.
He is where we get that phrase
Yeah,
from.
Robert Bork.
Yeah.
But like they got him because of his video rentals.
That wasn't how they got him.
Okay. Because like that guy, Tom.
Yeah.
Robert Bork is a lunatic.
Yeah, and that's why he didn't get.
The guy was a freaking zealot. Yeah.
I always assumed.
I thought this was a different guy from Bork, and I was like, I didn't hear about this one.
Yeah.
You're making up stories.
I always assumed like, oh, they got his rental history, and it was like Debbie Does Dallas and whatever, the big '80s pornos.
Yeah.
You know what was on his his list, his rental. You know what he had most recently rented? A Day at the Races, the Marx Brothers movie.
Did that sink his Supreme Court nomination?
No, but basically what happened,
where they're like, this guy's a loser.
What a loser. He's renting old 30s movies at the video store.
Also, like, the Republicans of the 80s were probably like, Marx Brothers, a little racy, don't you think?
Yeah, A Day at the Races. All the races? I don't know about that. Basically, it sounds like the next year, the Republican Congress was like, ooh, they can get rental histories? Yeah, let's make that a thing that they're not able to get.
You know how they say that, like, pornography drives all, like, technology?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, it's what led to VHS and DVD adoption, VR.
I feel like that's the
streaming.
same for, like, legislation, right? Like, it was like, oh, a bunch of senators realized they didn't want their
histories.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, man, pornography makes this country progress.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and this is like in the 80s.
Like, we don't care about privacy. Oh, wait. Oh, yes. No, we do care about privacy. I forgot.
In the 80s, like to get a video card membership, you need to like bring your social security number and
the friggin' Golden Video down in the village was paying like $500 for a copy of Short Circuit 2.
I'm not sure the exact dollar amount.
No,
but
it was like more than that. It was like $1,000, right?
No, I don't think it was that.
Because you were you were gonna rent it out, like.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they charged knowing, hey, you're gonna rent these.
Yeah.
Those rental places too. Like, I think when my parents, I have to ask, but like when you join like a rental place, it is different with Blockbuster. It was like, oh, you want to join our rental service? All right. Well, we just need a, $2,000 membership fee.
What? Does that get returned to you?
You got free rentals. That's what it was.
It wasn't $2,000 though, was it?
I think it was a lot. Because I remember like a decade later, we still had like movie. It was like, I forget what the stipulations were, because like sometimes my parents would just like have me run in to grab a video.
Did Golden Video just like take $2,000 from everybody in our town and then close up shop a couple years later?
No, this is like a long time later. And I think like at a certain point the memberships were free. But I think it was like initially it was like, look, we're gonna have to spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy 200 videos for people to rent. So we need that money up front, basically. But we'll give it back to you. You'll be able to go and rent. Because I remember for like years, like I would be able to go in there and be like, I'm gonna rent this R80, and that was
R80, huh?
Yeah.
You let this go publicly, Tom?
Yeah. If anybody has a time machine, goes back and says R80, it was I think it was the 80th membership for our last name.
Yeah.
Our
last name. Yeah, there were 80 other Reynolds. We know.
Our last name.
Our/R. Yeah.
No,
people say it different ways.
Our last name.
Tom, I wanted to work at Blockbuster so bad.
I don't think they had a very high.
Guess what? I went to their kiosk.
And
I was like, I'd like to get hired.
What kiosk?
There was a kiosk in the Blockbuster that was like, apply to work here.
Yeah.
And then it's like, do you want to be? Do you agree to be drug tested? And I was like, I don't want to pee in front of somebody. No.
I want to pee in front of everybody at a Blockbuster.
Yeah, and I really was just like,
it was
not.
like a digital kiosk.
Yeah. And it was like, you enter your name, you enter your address, you enter whatever. And it was like, have you ever been convicted of a crime? No.
Yes.
And it's like, do you want to
watch movies?
Yeah, and I was like, hell yes. There was a hell yes button for that one. And I feel like that was the right answer. But then I was like, I don't want to pee in front of somebody. And I was dumb enough to be like, it must be optional. So like, and like it immediately was like, sorry, you can't work at Blockbuster. I was like, shit. So I went to the other Blockbuster in West Islip. And I was like, well, okay, now I'll know. Fine, I'll pee in front of somebody.
Fine, I'll pee into this machine.
But as soon as I put my name in, they were like, "Sorry, we're not hiring."
Sorry, we're not hiring drug addicts.
Yeah, it was the biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah.
I really think that set me on a bad path, and I can't get into it. Why? I think I'd be. I was destined
I'd be the CEO of Blockbuster
I
today.
think I was destined for bigger and better things, and I can pinpoint that as my downfall. And I'm a little bitter about it.
Yeah, but Tim, you just said today you spilled a Mad magazine out in front of a bunch of businessmen.
Yeah, I know, because you know what? Now, who cares?
Oh, you're
anymore?
just all screwed up now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm in the right place now. It's all messed up.
We didn't even really talk that much about Netflix.
Yeah, we did. Well, hold on. Let's talk about
video
Quickster.
rentals in general.
Yeah, we talked about Netflix, kind of the origin of Netflix. Yeah. Maybe we could do another one on like Netflix original programming or something. Yeah. Because we didn't even get into
any of the shows.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one original programming.
Stranger Things. House of Cards. Orange is the New Black.
The Gilly Gals.
All the Marvel stuff. I'm talking original.
Mind Hunter.
Yeah.
Lost in Space.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Cage.
I said Marvel stuff.
Yeah, but I just wanted to.
You know, they're supposed to have something like 700 new series this year.
Tom, we're not talking about that this week.
Yeah.
That's in our Netflix original programming episode. Can we talk about Quickster real quick?
Yes.
So they split off, and they were like, okay, we went from being the highest customer of, not the highest customer, that's Cheech and Chong, of the U.S. Postal Service to the most bandwidth for everybody.
A quip like that would have also lost you that Blockbuster job. How does this guy know about Cheech and Chong? You're fired.
No, I would love. They would be like, "Oh, great, he'll categorize Up in Smoke correctly." But
that was one of their big problems.
Yeah.
They know, does it go drama or comedy?
Exactly.
We don't know.
It's a comedy. Come on, I know Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, they had Blockbuster had like very few categories. It was like drama, comedy, and kids.
Yeah. And classics.
And action.
And, everything appropriate.
And foreign.
Reed Hastings was just like, oh, DVDs are done.
Yeah.
We're going to spin it off into this other thing called Quickster, QWICKSTER.com. And everybody lampooned them.
Yeah.
Mercilessly.
They lost 800,000 customers. Like, it almost sunk the company.
Really?
Because people were so mad. Like, basically, they did a bad job communicating it. Basically, like, they saw the writing on the wall. They saw, like, all right, people are buying these DVD rental subscriptions, but they're having the same DVDs out for months because they're just watching the streaming stuff.
Yeah. They wanted us to send our DVDs back.
For good.
And then they wouldn't have to send us any more.
Yeah. And they were like, all right, we're going to split up these two services. And if you, if you don't change anything and you just stick to streaming, I think it was like your monthly fee is going to go down.
Yeah. Look, they communicated badly.
But if you really want DVDs still, you can sign up for Quickster in addition to Netflix.
Right.
But Quickster was
lampooned
and DOA.
Dead on arrival. Would you like to solve a problem?
Yes.
Hello and welcome to Tim and Tom Solve Your Problems. I'm Tim.
I'm Tom.
And we're going to solve a problem. If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, email us at thecompleteguidetoeverything@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a problem that you want us to solve in front of a live audience in London on September 14th or 15th,
and you're going to be at the show.
Yeah, exactly. Email us at that same address and let us know what show you're going to. It'll be fun.
And include the problem.
Tom, this one comes from an anonymous girl in need of help.
All right.
What do you want to call her?
Bessie.
Bessie. I was going to say Betsy, but Bessie is better.
Yeah.
Dear Tim and Tom, please don't use my real name just in case my family member listens to this.
One family member. What happened?
It's a tragic tale. I've got a problem, and it has been stressing me out for a few weeks now, so I thought, who better to help me in this situation than the best problem solvers in the business? I am currently living in Australia.
Nice. Good
Down
day.
under, Tommy.
Good day, mate.
Do the other one. Shrimp.
Oh, let's put some shrimp on the barbecue.
Exactly. And I've been here for 8 months. My mom and dad have wanted to travel to Thailand for a few years. There's a lot of destinations going on here. It'll all come together. Huh?
Bring out the globe.
They've been wanting to travel to Thailand for a few years and currently live in my hometown in Scotland.
I'm serious, Tim. Bring out the globe that we use so we can keep track of all
Scotland,
this.
Australia, Thailand.
Yeah, put
and
pins
we're in the
and-
U.S.
Put pins and all that. All right, pin in the U.S. for us.
They finally booked their trip of a lifetime to Thailand. So it's so as its halfway point, I'm familiar with the country. I'm going to meet them there with my boyfriend, and I cannot wait.
Yeah,
Bessie, I'm happy for you.
yeah.
But guess what?
Probably, yeah, some surfer boyfriend.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or a kangaroo. I want to introduce my
Kangaroo
parents
boyfriend.
to my kangaroo boyfriend. He's a boxer.
Yeah, and he's ripped.
However, I have a family member who lives near me in Australia and has been here for the past several years. I never had much contact with her before I came here, but as I am now close by, halfway across the world from our hometown, she has been spending a lot of time with me and my boyfriend. She doesn't have many friends, as her company can soon wear thin. Not where she's working.
Right.
She's very argumentative, like you, Tom, and has an opinion about everything, like you, Tom. It doesn't surprise me that not many people can be in her company for very long, like you, Tom. When I told, this is all her words.
Wow, unnecessarily mean.
Yeah, sorry. When I told her I was meeting my mom and dad in Thailand, she took it upon herself to book a flight for the exact same dates and to the exact same places, gate crashing our trip. I told my parents, and they were not pleased. Yeah. We already have booked our hotels and several day trips, and I don't want to give her any of the details, so she just makes her own arrangements.
That ain't going to happen.
Having her there will just ruin the dynamics, and it's putting a downer on the whole trip. Who just books a flight and invites themselves on someone else's planned holiday? That means vacation, Tom. Mm-hmm. A good-for-nothing stinker, that's who.
You got that right.
You know what they say, 2's a company and 3's a crowd, 4's a good presence, and 5's just loud.
I don't think I've heard they gone that far. I usually stop people before they get that
far. All right, say no more. How can I address this with her if she asks for the hotel names of where we are staying? Any tips to make sure she doesn't ruin our trip anymore would be helpful. Thanks, anonymous girl in need of help, a.k.a. Bessie. P.S. Love the podcast. It's the first one I've ever listened to, and I've now backlogged every episode.
Great. Don't listen
to
anything.
Others. Yeah, like listen. This is what I always say. Listen maybe 2 months back. Before that, I can't.
Oh, no, I was saying don't listen to any other podcasts.
Oh, okay.
You struck gold on the first
try.
No,
don't listen to anything that we've done. Like, I don't stand by anything I've said in the last, beyond the last couple months. I'm woke now,
Tom. Did she say how they're related?
I'm going to say, she says she has a family. I'm going to say it's a cousin.
Yeah, because I'm curious, like, the difference or similarity in ages, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it seems weird. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know the situation.
Like, if there's
they're from
the
same town in Scotland.
Right.
And they're related, presumably cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bessie winds up in the same Australian town as her relative.
Yeah, maybe we're going to get an email from this other woman next week. She's like, help me out. Like, this relative followed me all the way from Scotland to Australia and moved into my same hometown and acted like it was a coincidence.
You think Bessie's the one who's at fault
I'm just
here.
saying.
Bold.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
I can't remember the next line.
No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make a start to make the change, take a look at yourself and Something like that.
If you want to make the world a better place.
If you want to
take
make
a
the
look at
world, yeah. If you want to get it right. Anyway.
Best Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror, right? Hands down.
No,
you
not
want to say
hands
Speed
down.
Demon.
No way. Smooth Criminal is my favorite.
Really?
Love Smooth Criminal.
You love crime so much.
Boom. I love criminals. And that song, it's like a how-to. It's like a handbook of how to be a smooth criminal.
Yeah.
I will say this. I mean, it would have been better if you had done this earlier. But people like this. I know a few people like this. Like the
Stop
cousin.
looking at me like this.
You got to be direct. These people do not. The idea that if you don't tell her what hotel you're staying at, that somehow that's going to work.
Yeah.
Is, come on, you're kidding yourself. And you're kidding yourself all like.
Hey, you're playing yourself.
You're playing yourself.
You know what my number one rule is? Tim's number one rule. Don't play yourself.
You gotta, with people like this, because I know of other people. I know of like people that are similarly come to me for advice about people like this. You got to be direct.
Who's coming to you for advice in real life?
Everyone. You got to be direct with these people. They will not.
So what do you say? What? So I'm Bessie's cousin. Just like, hey, just wondering if I can.
I mean, like,
where are you staying?
Now it's kind of too late. You know.
Well, I mean, if Bessie wants to burn the bridge, she could just be like, if you can't stand this girl's company, and you just want to be like, just tell her like, I'm not going to tell you because you're going to ruin our vacation. But I don't know if you want, or you would say holiday, I guess.
I think the only thing you could do at this point would be to go back to this woman and be like, look, this is like my parents' big trip. They're meeting my boyfriend, presumably for the first time. If it's not the first time, lie and say it's the first time. Like, this is a big deal. Like, I'm really sorry, but like, it's inappropriate for you to come. Like, you didn't ask. And like, I just really, I don't feel comfortable about it because, this is like an immediate family thing.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
Give her all the information. Hand over an itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
Say you can't wait to hang out with her. This is gonna be great. Finally, you were hoping that she would
come along.
Put a bunch of ecstasy in her bag. She'll get picked up at the airport. Yeah. Be like, hey, let's go to the airport together for Christ's sakes.
And the nice thing
make
about
sure you're going through security first.
Yeah.
Put like a fuck ton of ecstasy in the bag.
Make sure she gets trafficking charges.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, like, a country like Thailand, they'll put her in jail forever.
Exactly. You'll never have to see her again.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, oh, man, but Bessie really wanted to hang out with me. She's such a nice, sweet girl.
Yeah.
She'll never
I
know.
shouldn't have tried to traffic all this ecstasy.
Why would she think Bessie is clearly never spoken up?
Yeah.
Look, Bessie, Tom, email Tom directly. He can get you an ecstasy hookup in Australia.
Yeah.
And just put like pounds of it in her bag, or just like a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, I mean,
is it illegal to traffic cocaine out of Australia?
Yeah, it's illegal to traffic cocaine, I think, anywhere.
I don't know these things.
Even Colombia.
It's a criminal. It's a nation of criminals, Tom.
Yeah, I again, not telling her where you're gonna be and stuff. That's
you're screwed. You have to play dumb and frame her for a crime.
Honestly, the other thing you could do is you could give her the itinerary, but tell her like, ooh, you could make the itinerary all things that like she can't get tickets for anymore.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, that seems like a big lift.
Yeah.
What if she tries to talk her way?
You could give her your itinerary, but you could say something like, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff that's just like the immediate family. So I don't know like how much time we'll have to spend with you. But here's like a rough idea of our plans.
Something just occurred to me.
But please make sure you make your own plans. I don't want you to. I mean, you could be honest.
Just frame her for a goddamn crime. It's not that hard.
You could be honest.
I've framed 100 people for crimes.
You could be honest and say, Here's the itinerary, but I hope you're making your own plans because we have a lot of our own plans.
Yeah, and
that's
then you
just
wink
for the
and then you
immediate family.
put a gun in her fucking carry-on. I get it. Tom, it also occurs to me, she asked us not to use her name, but she is a woman who moved from Scotland to Australia, who lives near her relative who also did the same thing and has planned a trip to Thailand with her family. If her relative is listening, I don't think she's gonna be like, well, I'm not sure this is me. I'm like 20% sure
I mean,
they're
it
talking
seems like
about
this
me.
person's pretty clueless.
Yeah.
Although I do like the idea that there might be like 3 or 4 other people that this situation fits, all listening to this now. I'm like, but I didn't think, my cousin Lisa even listened to podcasts. Well, she did just start, so.
If you like the show, do all the things.
If you like the show, you can check out tcgt.com for more. If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, you can email us at completeguideeverything@gmail.com. You can check out, if you want to support the show, you can go to tcgt.com/Amazon for our Amazon page where you do your normal shopping, but we get a kickback. And tcgt.com/pledge for our Patreon where you get fun bonus mini episodes of things like Fast Food Friday and Riverdale Review and Justice League Minute. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. Follow us on Twitter @complete guide. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Tom Reynolds.
Follow me on those things at your pal Tim.
And check out our Reddit at r/TCGTE for all you Reddit heads out there.
Yeah, if you want to criticize the show, that's the place to be.
And you can also, if you're going to be in London, September 14th and 15th, we have shows as part of the London Podcast Festival. The 15th is sold out, but 14th tickets are still on sale. tcgt.com/live. Tim, have you ever let your Netflix lapse since you started?
No, I mean, it just automatically renews, right?
Yeah. They should give us like awards or something. I've probably been a Netflix member for like 15 years.
I'd win nicest eyes.
No, not superlatives. Just like a customer appreciation.
Of all
award.
of our customers.
No, you wouldn't. Tim, they have 110 million customers.
Yeah, what are you trying to say about my eyes, Tom? They're not the nicest?
I have 110 million people. Think about some of the celebs that probably have Netflix.
They don't have Netflix.
Frank Sinatra's got Netflix, Tim.
Oh, Blue Eyes?
Yeah.
I can't compete with that. You're right.
We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.